Welcome back to the Contrarians, everyone. I'm Tim Derling with Martin Popoff. And yes, I'm doing the introduction because this is basically Martin's going to take this all from here. This is a brand new show on the Contrarians, something that Martin and I were discussing. Instead of building a bad album, we're going to build a concept album. We're going to choose songs from throughout an artist's career that has never done an actual concept album, but we think that there's enough songs about the same subject throughout the catalog that we can do this. We can actually build a concept album where there wasn't one before. And so this is going to be the first one in the series, and we're going to talk about band we love, one of Martin's favorite bands. We've done shows on them before, a concept album by ZZ Top. So Martin, if you want to take it from here, what is the zany wild concept of ZZ Top?
Yeah, so basically, I've always liked this idea of looking for songs that line up and stuff. And yeah, we've talked about some other bands, and we've got another one ready to go as well. But yeah, we're going to start with ZZ Top, and we may get into bands that have actually done concept albums before, but this will do a new concept album by them. But yeah, this was a fun exercise. So I'm calling this ZZ Top concept album Manic Mechanic. And there's a lot that goes with DeGueo here as well. And I just brought out a few props of records we've got songs from. So essentially, I'll give you the mapping of the sides first of all. So I've made a single 10-track album. So this is more or less a vinyl era album. And we start with Manic Mechanic. Then we're going to going down to Mexico. I want to drive you home. I'm bad. I'm nationwide. She loves my automobile. So that's side one. Side two is going to be Pan Am Highway Blues, Chevrolet, Master of Sparks, Arrested for Driving While Blind, and Waiting for the Bus. Forgive me, I haven't printed this out. I'm doing this from my computer screen. So the first song is Manic Mechanic. It's just the main character of this story himself, the Manic Mechanic. He's working in his shop, but on his spare time, he goes out racing and stuff, and he's racing cars that he owns, or maybe cars that he's working on, sort of thing. So yeah, we meet the Manic Mechanic in the first song. It's the title track to the album, so it makes sense that it's here. It is a DeGueo song. How many songs do we got from DeGueo on here? A few. So we meet him in this first song. The second song is Going Down to Mexico off of ZZ Top's first album. There we go. And there's the nice little watercolor painting of the guys, kind of odd. But essentially in this one, he has some adventure, and he goes down to Mexico. There's a 1940s, a faded 1940s movie star down there that he gets enamored with. The car in the second verse, we've got an Oldsmobile Rocket 88. He says Rockin' 88 in it. Arguably the first muscle car. Some people say the 63 GTO, Pontiac GTO, or the 55 Chrysler C300 kind of thing. But yeah, so he's going down to Mexico. ZZ Top's from Texas. The Manic Mechanic is from Texas. I'm placing this story in the late 50s. So this is like the birth of rock and roll story. So that's, somewhat time stamped because we've got this faded movie star that he kind of gets enamored with down there, and he's going through these various adventures. So moving on to track 3, we've got I Want to Drive You Home. The Manic Mechanic yearns for the woman from the previous song, but given his vocation, he thinks about her in terms of a car. So here he's equating this woman that he's got this crush on, and he's speaking about her as a car. Then in track 4, I'm Bad, I'm Nationwide, the Manic Mechanic. He's on a date with the girl and the platonic friend and the protector, the blues man in the back. But there's actually 3 different stories of cruising here, and that's what you would expect a Manic Mechanic to do, kind of thing. But he's got a brand new Cadillac, and yeah, there's different stuff here. He's got the V8 Ford in here. So yeah, if you haven't noticed, this is a song, or this is a concept album essentially based on driving and the story of this Manic Mechanic. So he's out on a date with her. But lo and behold, you get to the last track on side 1, She Loves My Automobile. It turns out she loves his automobile more than she loves him, sort of thing. Any excuse to get behind the wheel. So he's he's basically finding out, she really is enamored with his job as a manic mechanic more than anything. So that kind of sets up the hijinks of side two. And so side two, we've got Pan Am Highway Blues. So the Pan Am Highway goes from Alaska all the way down to, I guess, South America or whatever. But at this point, he's basically driving and trying to forget her kind of thing. So it's the Pan Am Highway Blues to kick off this side. I've got good at missing her. I practice all the time. So he's driving down there. He's down in Panama. He blows a bunch of money. He's fantasizing about, it'd be nice to meet up with her in San Salvador and El Salvador and drive on to Peru and all this. So he's just like sort of mourning the fact that this relationship hasn't exactly worked out. And in the second track, Chevrolet from Rio Grande Mud. I got my Rio Grande Mud here. So he's basically, he's just kind of driving around. He's got a 1941 flathead Chevy, the Brazos River in East Texas. So this is that whole area. Cinco Ranch, is that how you pronounce it? Simonton, this is all down around there. So he's back in Texas, but he's just driving around and just essentially, trying to forget her, just having a good time on his cars kind of thing. You get to the third track, Master of Sparks. So he's invited up. He's up by Route 66. So this is Amarillo, the Texas Panhandle. But he's invited up. He's got some buddies who have the big steel ball spark ball. This is a really cool song about how you build this big steel ball and you get inside the ball and you're on the back of a pickup truck and a couple of your buddies, I'm sure these guys are pretty drunk by this time. They push the ball out the back of the truck as they go down the highway, and this ball just rolls around on the highway and gives you this crazy ride. And that's why it's Master of Sparks. There's sparks flying off the ball as it's bouncing off the pavement and into the tumbleweed sort of thing, right? So yeah, this is the story of him again, just hanging with the buddies, trying to forget her. And then lo and behold, track 4, we're getting to the end of this concept album. The Manic Mechanic is arrested for drunk driving. He's arrested for driving while blind. So at this point, this was tied up with this trip for the Masters of Sparks situation. But this is when he's driving back kind of thing after having this adventure, and he's basically arrested and thrown in jail, and it's only blood grain alcohol or whatever he says. Their wood grain alcohol. And then you get to the very end and we've got Waiting for the Bus from Tres Hombres. Because lo and behold, our Manic Mechanic has lost his license. And he is now waiting for the bus all day. He's got his brown paper bag and my take-home pay. So he's drinking out of a bag, have mercy. Old bus be packed up tight. But yeah, he's dreaming about the situation where he can get his license back. And at the very end of the story, right on the bus, done got me back. Well, I'll be riding on the bus till I Cadillac. So it's so he's wishing to get back his Cadillac sort of thing. So there you go. There's the Manic Mechanic concept album of ZZ Top. This is the first one that came to mind when I thought of all those car songs and mentions of cars and all this driving around Texas and Mexico and the whole bit. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think of our first one here?
It's really cool. And I don't know if this was intentional or not, Martin, but and I just noticed this too. The first track on the album and the last track both have the phrase "Have mercy" in them.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
have mercy, Miss Percy, and then wait for the bus. Have mercy, but wait for the bus all day. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of fun once you get into it because they kind of write themselves. ZZ Top have so many songs, not only about driving, but specific types of vehicles, and also name checking a lot of places, a lot of place names. So it really puts you in the South, in Texas, Mexico. You could almost picture, if somebody was narrating this, a voiceover going over a map of, the southern states and then into Mexico and Peru. Yeah, very cool. Like it covers, the first album in 71 through El Loco in 81. So there's something from every one of those early ZZ Top albums. It's very cool. And it does almost sound like Billy wrote himself a concept album without realizing it.
Yeah, and it's funny. I actually went through all the albums, and I couldn't really find much more to put into it. So it's funny how it all fits into the early thing there. There weren't a lot of good car songs from later on that I could fit into the sort of thing, and I wanted to stop it at a certain point too. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, I don't know, folks. Let us know what you think of this whole idea. But we're definitely going to do more of them because they're really kind of fun. And yeah, let us know in the comments below if there's, let us know if there's other ZZ Top concept albums that can be done as well. But yeah, on behalf of myself and Tim, we shall see you again next time.